We need people. It doesn't matter what you've labeled yourself as: quiet, shy, reserved, an introvert, socially awkward, whatever. We need people in our lives. But how can I be so sure? Well, that's what I want to talk to you guys about this week: how you can be confident around other people even if you feel socially awkward. Hi, I'm Grace Plata, and I'm here to equip, empower, and encourage you to help you live your best life. So I've put together a list of things and I guess people that we often come in contact with our lives that I want to share with you guys, like how you can better interact with people, how you can get free from certain things like fear and depression by being around other people, even if the thought of being around people gives you fear. Okay, so number one is family and friends. Family should always be number one on your list. It should come before work. It should come before school. It should come before everything. Family is number one. If you have strong family roots, even if you aren't biologically related, even if it's like adopted, like we have an adopted grandma, and I'll tell that story in a minute, but it doesn't matter like how you're related, as long as you have firm roots in people that you truly care about and love. So next is friends. There are lots of qualities you should look for in friends, but I really want to dedicate this topic of friends to a different to some more time, so we'll come right back to that. And then the third thing is communities. And I know we kind of tiptoed over those first two topics, even though they are important, but I really, really want to put some emphasis on communities. So I think communities is something everybody should have in their lives. You know, whether it's like a church groups, an activity, a group online, as long as you're connecting with people who are truly passionate about something, or truly just passionate of being around other people, you've got yourself an amazing thing in your life. Personally, when I hear the word community, I think of like a group of people. It could be big or small, but just a group of people who really, really have each other's back. I cannot emphasize just how important communities are. I just really need you to pick up that there is a huge importance in this. You can get you can get freed from fear. You can get freed from depression by hanging around certain groups of people, certain communities that will support you in certain areas in your life. Our church does something called a small group, and people will get together with activities. Like I know there's like a group for single moms and single dads. There's a group for high school kids. There's groups for around sports. There's groups around like breakfast, like brunch, like I don't know what they call it, but there's like groups around everything. And basically people will just connect and they'll have a community, almost like a second family. Like that's how close these people are. And that's why I love the word community. It's not as vague as like the word friendship or something, because friendship, it can get kind of vague. Like it's like, oh yeah, friendship, whatever. But communities, I think we need to keep that word really like packed full of emotion and passion. Communities are just so important. I really, really hope you're picking that up. The truth is, we need more communities where people feel like they have a second family, where people have this very, very strong sense of belonging, where they know they can just be themselves without having people judging them. So step one, you can either like join a community, or you can step out of your comfort zone and start one. If that's not something that's your jam, then you can, I don't know, join one that's already been started, but starting one, that would be an adventure. Hi Eileen, how are you? And then the fourth one is groups or teams. Groups and teams are a must-have in life. If you've played any sport, you know the importance of having a team getting along. Otherwise, honestly, without a team, with teamwork, you won't win the game. There are countless books about teamwork and leadership and being a leader or going under leadership. There are endless videos, endless books, endless podcasts, endless blog posts. Basically, on any platform, you will find stuff on leadership and teamwork. It is a deep, deep subject. I highly, highly recommend John Maxwell in the area of leadership and teamwork. He has written 100 books on teamwork and leadership. So go to him when you need help with that. The guy is amazing. He gives such value-packed podcasts. He gives, I'm not exaggerating this, life-changing seminars and conferences. So check out John Maxwell, because if you can solve people problems, if you can solve teamwork problems, you can take on the world. I am completely serious. If you can solve the people problems, you can solve pretty much all the problems in the world. And then next is neighbors. I thought this was really interesting because a few months ago our church did a series on neighbors, and basically they talked a lot about how you can actually be neighborly. Like, I don't know about your neighborhood, but in my neighborhood sometimes it's kind of weird because you drive by and some people will avoid eye contact and you try to wave and they'll just be like, they won't look at you, so you're just kind of like, never mind. You just kind of put your hand away. But it's basically just about being neighborly and actually waving at your neighbors and being a smiling face when everybody else closes their doors. And I just thought that was a really, really powerful message. And the series, it was just about like how you can open your eyes to seeing what's going along. Like, you can help each other, your neighbors out. And if they're in a pickle, you can like let them borrow eggs, so you can go and borrow eggs from your neighbor. You know, just the kind of people that are nice to have around. And what really impacted me was the example of one of our neighbors who we call our adopted grandma, and she lovingly calls me and my sister her adopted grandchildren. So that's the story to that. But she has been one of the most dependable, one of the most caring and most friendly neighbor we have. She supersedes the word neighborly. Like, I'm just saying, she is amazing. But the point is, I'm like thinking about how like amazing she is. And like, if all of our neighbors were even like, if we had even a little bit of dependability in our neighbors, imagine if you had even just a little dependability in your neighbors, that if some emergency or situation came up, you could count on them to help you out. Like, wouldn't that be amazing? But that's actually why villages and neighborhoods were started. I was talking about this with my mom. That's why villages and neighborhoods were started, because people knew back then that by making their houses and homes and building their families around other people, they would be safer, they would be more protected, and life would just be a lot better when they had other neighbors around you. Now, honestly, I don't even know the neighbor like it's directly diagonal from us. Like, I'm actually pointing in the direct, position of where our neighbors are. I haven't even personally met them. And I don't know about you. I don't know if you have that kind of thing. Like, that whole series is about knowing your neighbors, and we haven't even met the people who live like right there. Like, I am looking at their house and I don't know their names. I know that all I know is that they're a family and they have kids and they sometimes play outside every now and then. That's the only thing I know. But this isn't a message to be glum or anything. It's a message to encourage you and to equip you, that is supposed to like show you how we need people around us. And that could start with our neighbors. It could just be like opening our eyes and seeing like litter in our neighbor's yard and going picking it up. Or you can like just ask an old neighbor who's lived next to you for a while, ask like just for like coffee and just to chat. Or maybe you can just like, even something as simple as smiling and as you're driving by, or asking if they need help with anything, being neighborly. I mean, it's just as simple as that. So I just really, all of these points I'm stressing the importance of how important people are in our lives, whether they're a stranger, whether they're a neighbor, or whether they are our best friend. So the next one is an acquaintance. So these are the people that you know like a little bit about, but you haven't really called a friend. They're your coworkers. They're the people you go to school with. They could be your neighbors. I don't know. Hopefully not. But you know who I'm talking about, right? Like, we could ask to make their day. We could ask them more about themselves. We can ask them more about their family, what their plans are for the weekend, what their plans are for the fall. Like, if they're going on any vacations, that's how you can make your day. People love talking about themselves. People can talk about themselves for hours. I know that. The next one is the people you know. And these are the people that you know, but you don't really know. That's kind of confusing. Like, people that you recognize their face, but that's pretty much only thing you know. You know their face, but you don't really know their name. You just know that they exist, kind of. So, it's the cashier at the local Walmart. It's your librarian. People whose faces you just recognize. And that's pretty much the only thing that separates that person from a complete stranger. Dale Carnegie, he wrote a book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which is so amazing. You've got to read it. But he wrote in that book, one of the points is to say a person's name is one of the most important and like the sweetest sounds that in any language to that person. So even just like seeing their little name tag on their shirt and just saying, hey, so and so, how are you? Or just saying like, thank you, so and so, have a good day. Like that will make their day. There's a funny story that like I know this one person that we've known each other for a while, but we're an acquaintance, we're neighbors, but we're kind of an acquaintance, and every time like we kind of see each other, I have never once heard them say my name, like not greet me. Someone, I honestly wondered one time if they actually knew my name. Like I'm like, I know your name, but do you know mine? Like that's how like I've never heard them say my name. So make someone's day and just say their name. Like bonus point. Learn their birthdays too. That will completely make their day. Like if like you just like if you're meeting someone, you ask them their name and you can like ask them their birthday, just like on the just kind of slip it in there. And then on your phone you can write it down in like a notebook or something. Just put like their name and their birthday, and then just send them like a text or like a card or something, and that will completely make their day. I love sending cards to people like texts on their birthday, just saying like happy birthday, and just imagining how surprised they'll be, like I didn't know you knew my birthday. Like has that ever happened to you? Like you're like someone's like happy birthday and you're like, how'd you know that? All right, Facebook. But it wasn't Facebook because you're not friends on Facebook. Anyway, you're like just that little surprise like that will make their day, whether it's an acquaintance, a friend, or just whatever. So just learn their birthday. That will completely make their day. And then the last point is friends. And here's what we're gonna do. There are a lot of characteristics you should look for in a friend. There are lots of people you must have in your life as a friend, you must hold on to. And there are a lot of people and characteristics you should not have in your life. And when I was preparing this message, I was like, this is really deep. So I'm gonna leave you with this. We will carry on this conversation next week. We will talk about the importance of friends, what kind of people you should have in your life, and how it will change your life. So these are the people that you kind of have in your life and like what you should do with them, but these are the people you have to have in your life and what you should do with them. That sounds kind of weird, but anyway, so that's kind of how I'm going to leave you with. So I hope this encouraged you. I hope you kind of got value from this. And I challenge you to take one point in this message and put it implement it in your life, whether it's just smiling and waving at your neighbors, greeting someone by name, sending someone a happy birthday text, anything. It could be big or small. I just challenge you to do implement one point from this message by the time we meet next week. So thank you so much for your time. I will see you next week.